It's Monday, February 8th, and this is now on HNN.
The Senate must honor their oath.
The spotlight is back on former President Donald Trump as his second impeachment trial begins this week.
A second case of the more infectious COVID-19 variant is confirmed on Oahu.
Dozens are feared dead after a glacier crashed into a dam in India. The dramatic video you need to see.
Plus, could the NFL retire Tom Brady's jersey not just from one team, but from the entire league? These stories and more coming up on This Is Now.
This just in, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a 2-alarm fire at a Kaneohe apartment building. HFD got the call around 9:50 this morning and responded to the blaze on Kahuhipa Street. Our crew on scene spoke to several residents at the 4-story walk-up. One said she rushed home to get her dog out. Another said he knocked down the door of the unit and started hosing down the flames. HFD says no one was home at the time and the fire was put out. We'll have more on this story on air and online.
And we welcome you inside the Digital Center now on this Monday edition of This Is Now. Ian Schuring filling in for Jonathan Soppe alongside Ashley Nagaoka. We're going to start today with the latest COVID-19 numbers in Hawaii.
That's right. Health officials are reporting 33 new cases today and no new fatalities. We'll have the breakdown for you shortly on your HNN digital platforms. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump's second impeachment trial begins tomorrow. Elise Preston has more on what to expect.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are set to be jurors and prosecutors this week as former President Donald Trump's Senate impeachment trial begins Tuesday. He's accused of inciting the deadly Capitol riot on January 6th.
Now, the Senate must honor their oath and impeach Donald J. Trump to hold him accountable, but also to bar him from running for public office ever again.
That is unlikely to happen. Dozens of GOP senators have challenged the constitutionality of impeaching a now private citizen. And with a 2/3 vote required to convict, Mr. Trump will likely be acquitted.
Zero chance of conviction. 45 Republicans have said it's not even a legitimate proceeding, so it's really over before it starts.
In a 14-page pretrial memo, Trump's attorneys also argue the constitutionality of the proceedings, while denying his remarks are what sparked a violent mob to swarm and rush the Capitol last month. 9 Democratic Congress members will serve as prosecutors, known as impeachment managers.
Let's turn to the impeachment trial.
In an exclusive sit-down with CBS Evening News anchor Norah O'Donnell, President Joe Biden addressed the upcoming trial.
I ran like hell to defeat him because I thought he was unfit to be president. I've watched what everybody else watched, what happened when that crew invaded the United States Congress. But I'm not in the Senate now. I'll let the Senate make that decision.
The former commander-in-chief is not expected to testify under oath. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Hawaii now has 2 cases of the UK coronavirus variant. Our Lacy Deniz is tracking those 2 cases and joins us now with more. Lacy.
Both cases are on Oahu, and the Department of Health says both do not have a history of travel, and the patients haven't had contact with each other. They're currently in quarantine, along with any close contacts. This strain of the virus is estimated to be up to 50% more infectious than the original strain. Experts predict this strain will become the dominant variant in the U.S. as early as next month. It's already been confirmed in more than 30 states. A new report says the spread of the variant could be doubling every 10 days. Many cases did not report any recent international travel similar to the infections on Oahu, and that indicates community transmission is already happening. For This Is Now, I'm Lacy Deniz.
Thanks, Lacy. Both of the current vaccines available do appear to work on that UK variant. Pfizer and Moderna say their products should provide protection against the mutation. Health experts say it's more important than ever to ramp up vaccinations now to prevent the virus from mutating even further. Here's the latest data showing how many people are being vaccinated in Hawaii. The state says nearly 190,000 doses have already been administered, but the actual number is likely much higher. The health department is expected to provide new numbers later today. So far, Hawaii has received more than 227,000 doses of the vaccine.
And this week, CVS will start vaccinating people at its Long's drugstores in Hawaii on Thursday. Patients must still meet the criteria set by the state. We're currently in phase 1B. That's adults 75 and older and frontline essential workers. If you fall into those categories, you can register at cvs.com or through its pharmacy app starting tomorrow. Walk-ins are not allowed. Congressional negotiators are working today on exactly what will be in the final version of President Biden's COVID relief bill. Deborah Alfarone has more from the White House.
President Biden is calling on Congress to pass his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package as quickly as possible. Tweeting, "We don't have a second to waste when it comes to delivering the American people the relief they desperately need."
Our expectation is that this week's House markups will track closely with what the president has proposed, but there will, of course, be adjustments to strengthen the bill and tweaks as a result of the legislative process.
President Biden told CBS News' Norah O'Donnell that he's going to stand firm on providing stimulus checks to most Americans.
You've said you're not compromising on the $1,400 checks.
No.
He did say he was willing to negotiate on who is eligible to receive the checks, as well as holding off on the $15 an hour minimum wage bill. But he is not flexible about the $400 a week unemployment benefits for the next 6 months. President Biden says he still believes he'll win some bipartisan support from congressional Republicans, but they say White House calls for unity are just lip service.
The administration is showing very clearly they don't care if they have to work with us.
The White House does plan to include a proposal first introduced by Utah Senator Mitt Romney last week. The plan would give tax credits of $3,600 for every child under the age of 6. $3,000 for kids 6 to 17. Americans who make more money would receive lower benefits. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
U.S. Representative Ron Wright has died after being diagnosed with COVID-19. His office says they're still not sure of the exact cause of his death. The Texas Republican had battled several bouts of lung cancer, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. If COVID was to blame, he would be the first member of Congress killed by the virus. Ron Wright was 67 years old.
In other news here at home, Big Island police have identified the victim in a fatal pedestrian crash in Mountain View as 54-year-old Aaron Sombrio. The crash happened last Wednesday on Kahikopele Road just after 7:30 p.m. Police say Sombrio was walking along the roadway when the driver of a 2002 GMC Sonoma pickup truck struck him. A negligent homicide investigation has been opened, and witnesses are asked to call Big Island Crime Stoppers at 961-8300.
The trial for attempted murder and sexual assault suspect Michael Hirokawa has been delayed until May. Hirokawa pleaded not guilty to the violent attack at his condo at Capitol Place. The alleged victim was left in critical condition. His trial was originally set to start today. He is now under house arrest.
State officials are warning residents near the Alawai Canal to expect dredging work to continue for at least the next few months. Sammy Salina is tracking more on why that project is taking so long to wrap up.
The dredging of the canal is now tentatively scheduled to end in June. Now, the DLNR did change their hours in October to go longer, so that way the project can stay on schedule. Then, they said that the project would actually be ending in early 2021. Dredging operations are concentrated near the McCulley Street Bridge, and soon it will move onto the area by the Iolani School driveway. Since October, workers start dredging at 7 a.m. on weekdays, 9 a.m. on weekends and holidays, and work ends for them at 10 p.m. The complaints residents have is with the noise and late hours, but the DLNR said they've done a lot to reduce sound, including changing the pump, installing noise panels, and adjusting the type of operation. According to the department, noise decibel measures are in compliance with noise permit limits. State Senator Sharon Moriwaki of District 12, which covers Waikiki, said the late hours are a trade-off to faster completion.
Talking to the Department of Land and Natural Resources that oversees the project, that was the idea. If we did it, quickly and longer, but then we can get this done. I think that was the approach taken. So I apologize to the residents there to have to hear the noise and the smells.
Moriwaki said the contractors have listened to the community. The DLNR said it's doing everything it can to reduce the impact on nearby neighborhoods without slowing the project down. The last time this canal was dredged was in 2002. This project should help clear the canal and prevent floods. Sammy Solina for This Is Now.
A desperate search for survivors after a glacier broke in northern India, triggering a massive flood. At last check, at least 18 people are dead and 160 are still missing. Tina Cross has the dramatic video.
A man shouts warnings that the dam has burst, but it's too late. A chunk of glacier broke off in the Himalayas Sunday, sending a flash flood barreling down the mountainside, crashing through a dam. Authorities scrambled to evacuate villages after the violent surge wiped out one hydroelectric plant and damaged another. Emergency crews managed to rescue 16 workers from a muddy trench. But a massive operation is still underway to find dozens more trapped in a tunnel that stretches more than a mile. Authorities are searching for bodies downstream and fear the death toll from this disaster will rise substantially. Experts say a glacier breaking in winter appears to be a dangerous sign of climate change. Scientists say warming temperatures are melting the Himalayan ice at such an alarming speed, most glaciers could disappear by the end of the century. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Back here at home, let's take you live outside. Guy Hagi has a check on our weekday forecast.
How's it on this Monday? We are tracking this cold front. It's expected to bring cloudy skies, scattered showers, perhaps a few isolated thunderstorms. Already it's onto Kauai. It's going to move towards Oahu by this afternoon and tonight. And in the overnight hours, it will likely reach the Big Island. Otherwise, before that happens, though, it should be a pretty nice day, at least from Oahu all the way to the Big Island. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. And again, there's a chance for showers to come at nighttime for Oahu and for Maui County. Now, as far as the surf, it's on the way down today, but we got a hefty swell coming in tonight through tomorrow for north and west shores. Big enough likely to trigger a high surf advisory. South shores are small, but at least the box jellyfish are gone. So we've got, fair skies today, but that front's moving into Kauai, going to be onto Oahu and Maui County by tomorrow with scattered showers, maybe even some brief downpours. Drier conditions with those cool temperatures taking over by Wednesday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
Super Bowl 55 was billed as a matchup for the ages, but instead it quickly became a victory lap for the winningest quarterback of all time. Sam Brock has more on the Super Bowl from start to finish.
Tom Brady is running out of fingers for his rings, capturing his record 7th Super Bowl at age 43.
I think we knew this was going to happen tonight, didn't we? We ended up playing our best game of the year.
The Bucs didn't just win, they trampled last year's champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, 31-9.
Again, running for his life.
The Bucs D harassing superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes all night, preventing the supercharged Chiefs from scoring a single touchdown.
They were just better than us today. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
After the game, a show of mutual respect.
You're a legend, man. Congrats, man. You're awesome. You're amazing, man.
Keep it tight.
Tampa fans celebrating the victory in their home stadium.
This is history right here. This means the world to Tampa Bay.
The game kicked off with a dazzling duet of the national anthem performed by Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan. Fans also wowed by Warren Snipe, who did a moving sign language version of hers America the Beautiful. The Weeknd also electrifying on stage, singing some of his biggest hits in a slickly produced halftime show. Using masked dancers to keep things COVID-friendly. And in the stands for it all, 7,500 healthcare workers on the COVID front lines.
You put yourself at risk to keep the rest of us safe.
The Bucs' Bruce Arians became the oldest coach to win a Super Bowl at 68.
We started believing pretty early in the season, and we knew we were going to be a tough out. All we had to do was get in the playoffs.
But a cloud hanging over Chiefs coach Andy Reid. Just days before the game, his son Britt, a linebackers coach for the team, involved in a serious crash, leaving a 5-year-old in critical condition.
My heart goes out to all those that were involved in the accident, in particular the family with the little girl who's fighting for her life.
Here's Brady's pass.
But the story of the night, undoubtedly Tom Brady, the game's MVP with 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to his old pal Gronk. LeBron James tweeting, "If you know, you know. GOAT talk." And even Brady's former team, the Pats, effusive too. Congratulations to the greatest of all time. Brady celebrating post-game with his 3 kids and supermodel wife Gisele Bündchen.
Congratulations. Nothing better than be able to share this with your family and your kids.
They started off about this big, and now look at them. So I'm trying to stop the little clock right now.
A legend adding to his already unprecedented legacy.
You know, really all year we believed in ourselves. Our coaches believed in us. We believed in ourselves. And again, we were going up against a great team tonight, and just happy we got the job done.
I'll look now at what we're seeing from the feeds, and we're going to stay with the Super Bowl here. I want you to check out this tweet from Atlanta Falcons running back Todd Gurley last night. Should the NFL just retire number 12 in the future? Not just on the Pats or the Bucks, but he's asking about the entire NFL. This has really only been done twice. Major League Baseball retired Jackie Robinson's number 42 from the entire league. Robinson, of course, the first black man to play in major leagues. Also had an incredible career, 6-time All-Star, a World Series champion. He was the first black man to win the NL MVP award. No NHL player outside of the guy you're seeing right there has ever worn number 99 since Wayne Gretzky retired. So Jackie Robinson, Wayne Gretzky, 2 guys who had their numbers retired across the entire league that they played in. Gretzky almost unanimously considered the best ever. He won 4 championships, maybe the most absurd statistical resume ever. When he retired, they didn't even make Wayne Gretzky wait the 5 years to get into the Hall of Fame. They just said, okay, yeah, you're in. So Brady now is the guy we can start talking about next as maybe being in line for that sort of treatment. His 7 titles, more than the Patriots have in their entire history, more than the Steelers have in their entire, more than the Cowboys have in their entire history. He's going to end up with almost all of the statistical records. So let the conversation begin, you know, as the sort of guy who could very well get that sort of treatment from the NFL moving forward.
I feel like that's a fair argument.
I do too.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it for a guy like Wayne Gretzky who won 4, you got to consider it for a guy like Brady who won 7.
Agreed.
The only knock against that, the only argument against that, I think, Michael Jordan, 6 titles, the NBA never retired number 23.
That's true.
I want to stick with the Super Bowl. One more thing from the feeds. You may remember this play last night. Antoine Winfield breaks up a pass on 4th down, flashes the deuces to Tyreek Hill, gets called for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and some of you might have said, well, they're winning by a whole bunch. Why would you do that with the Bucs up big? I'm going to show you. These 2 teams actually played back in November in the regular season when this happened. Mahomes threw a 75-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill, and wow, what was that we just saw there?
Peace.
Show it a little more slowly. Tyreek Hill flashing the peace sign to Antoine Winfield as he made his way into the end zone. Well, all he did last night was return the favor. Winfield in the postgame said, quote, "It was only right that I gave him the peace sign back after getting burned in the regular season. And if you got the Super Bowl to match, I guess you taunt as much as you want."
Yep.
He said he would take that penalty anytime. Do it.
I love it. Now, you guys, of course, we have to talk about the commercials. Americans are weighing in on their favorites. Here's Naomi Ruckham with the breakdown.
With Rocket Mortgage, you can be certain, not pretty sure.
Comedian Tracy Morgan may well be the Super Bowl's MVP when it comes to commercials.
I'm pretty sure we can park in Joey Bosa's spot.
His 2 60-second ads for Rocket Mortgage took the number 1 and 2 spots in the USA Today ad meter, and that may be in large part due to Morgan's celebrity and presence on Twitter, where he urged his nearly 3 million followers to vote.
I think everything's fair game in this game. It's all about driving eyeballs to your ads.
Amazon's ad for Alexa starring Michael B. Jordan took 3rd place.
Alexa,
How many tablespoons are in a cup?
There are 16 tablespoons in a cup.
I promise I will not eat any more of your friends.
Really?
Making audiences laugh was the goal of most of the commercials, but Toyota touched audiences with an ad about Paralympic swimmer Jessica Long.
Her legs will need to be amputated.
There was also Jeep's 2-minute spot about national unity, starring Bruce Springsteen.
We need the middle.
And a commercial for Oatly oat milk featuring the company's CEO singing in a field.
Wow, no cow.
Was rated as the worst on USA Today's ad meter, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
You saw everybody talking about it, and they were talking about how horrible it was, but they were still talking about it.
And for a company that's never before had a Super Bowl commercial, all the attention can't hurt. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
All right, quickly, before we move on, my favorite Super Bowl commercial, if you're a Michael B. Jordan fan, the Alexa commercial I thought was the best. And it's one of those they released earlier in the week, so you got to see it a couple of times before the big game. That was my favorite. Yours was?
That was definitely one of my top 3. I also loved the 90s references, the Wayne's World, the Edward Scissorhands, and there was even a good one by T-Mobile that apparently didn't get broadcasted.
Yeah, with Tom Brady and Gronk is like, here's what the conversation actually was, and then here's what it was if the conversation had broken up if you had spotty service.
So good.
That was another good one.
That's right. All right, guys, time for some good news. So we want to tell you about Hokulea Taniguchi. Now, she was born and raised in Kalihi, but moved to Wisconsin last year, where she had to bike to work in the snow. Not anymore. Check it out.
I just couldn't believe it. I was so shocked.
Hokulea Taniguchi says the experience of being gifted a car by her coworker and best friend was incredibly emotional.
I screamed and I ran to her and I was just like, my heart felt so full and I was like so excited, and then obviously I was like so happy that I just started crying my eyes out.
Her friend Haley Bridges came into this car through a Chick-fil-A Christmas raffle and decided to give the car away so that Hokulea could have the independence to safely get to her job.
And she bikes to work every day, and she lives kind of far, but like in the Wisconsin weather, it's not the best. She's one of the people here that has made me like be myself more, and like I just feel so happy being around her, and it was just an immediate decision to give her a car because she probably needs it more than anyone that I know.
The girls' Chick-fil-A team says they are both hard workers and great members of the team.
Haley is super fun to be around, and she has just really been able to plug in with everyone. And Hokulea just serves everyone with excellence and has been able to really build some strong friendships and memories with everyone as well.
So being able to have a car and that freedom and like giving someone else a ride, helping someone else out, that just warms my soul, and I'm just so excited and happy, and I just can't believe it.
Now, getting a free car from anyone in any circumstance is great. Getting a free car when you have to bike to work in -5 degree temperature through the snow in Wisconsin makes it just a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I mean, what do you even do? Do you have chains for your bike tires?
I don't know. Hope that the roads have been plowed, I would say.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know.
What a great friend.
Yeah. Hopefully, bikes don't have heaters. So
That's true.
in the car, you can turn on the heater. You'll be all right.
That's true. Well, that's going to do it for This Is Now, you guys. We're going to be here tomorrow with more news. Don't forget, you can get all the latest headlines starting at 1st at 4 right here on KHNL. See ya.